We don't work for most homeowners. If you're a homeowner and you're trying to build a fence or a wall, or you're putting up a house and you want to know where your property lines are, we're probably not a good fit here at Redefined Horizons. And so I want to explain why that is. A lot of people are confused. We get a couple calls a week, 1 or 2 calls a week from people trying to put up a fence or a wall from across California. We get calls. And I usually tell people we're probably not a good fit. Let me try and recommend you to somebody that does this type of work. And sometimes people are confused. I thought you were a surveyor, or nobody will return my phone calls. Why won't you help me? And there's some good reasons why we don't do it. We do, on rare occasions, we will work for a homeowner, but it's not common. And I'll talk at the end here in a few minutes about when we do that. But most of the 98% of the time we don't do it. We work for what I call non-residential property, commercial, ag, industrial. We work for businesses. So we're a business to business company. We don't typically work for homeowners. So why not? I want to give you 4 reasons why we don't. Number 1, we're just the wrong type of survey company for that kind of work. I talk in some of my other videos about the different sizes of survey company. I kind of group them into 3. You got your minnows, your barracudas, and your whales. We're a barracuda, so we're a small to medium sized firm, and it's just really hard to compete in that market for fence surveys, what we call them, or lot surveys. Most of the guys doing those surveys are small one-man shops. A lot of them aren't running what I call a real business, in air quotes. They're not carrying professional liability insurance or business insurance. They're not using modern equipment. They're not paying employees, and that's there's room for those guys in the marketplace. But I just can't compete with them, and I know that. And if I try and compete with them, I'm just going to get frustrated. So we don't try and compete with them. So we're just not the right size survey firm. Right? If you want a fence survey, most of the time you're going to want it really cheap, and those guys will do that. And if you're willing to wait a month or 2 or 3 months till they can get to you, a lot of times they're a good choice. The second reason is most homeowners don't value what our company is best at providing. So there's some things that we do a really good job at, and some things that we don't do a really good job at. So we're not really good at being the cheapest surveyor in town for some of those reasons I just talked about. We're not the most expensive surveyor in town either. So I talk about in some of my other videos, I don't build stadiums or skyscrapers. That's not what we're good at. That takes a bigger firm for a lot of different reasons. So that's not a good fit for us either. So what are we really good at providing here at Redefined Horizons? We provide really quick turnaround on surveys, which is really important to a lot of folks in the real estate industry. We can generally turn a survey around in 2 weeks or less, which is not a lot of companies will do that. But in real estate, when a lot of times in real estate, people are trying to close transactions, and that quick turnaround is really important. We do really good work. We do quality work. We take pride in that. There's a lot of people in the business world that are concerned about risks, and they're trying to manage risk, and so they care about the quality of the survey they get. So we're good at doing that. And we're good at finding solutions to problems. So we get a lot of work when people have got real estate and it's messed up. There's all kinds of reasons why real estate can get messed up, but one of the things we're good at is helping people figure that stuff out and helping them get it fixed. That's not something that most surveyors do a good job of, and so we're good at that. And so most of the time, if you're a homeowner, you just want to build a fence, none of those things apply to you, right? You don't need it done in a couple weeks. You can wait. You probably assume the survey you get from Bob is the same quality as the surveys you get from Bill, right? So you're not really making a distinction in quality. And you probably don't have a bunch of problems. If you're in a subdivision, you got a single family home and something that's been subdivided in the last 30 years, we're probably not going to find major problems. So you're not looking for somebody that can solve a tricky situation. So we're probably not a good fit for you, because that's what we do. We provide value in those other areas. The third reason is most homeowners don't know and don't care what makes us different. So they just assume that any surveyor they call is going to do as good of a job as any other surveyor. That's not true, but it's hard for me to convince homeowners of that, just to be honest. I try and do that. Most homeowners are just looking for the cheapest survey they can find. And the problem with that is there's always ways to cut corners on boundary surveys. That's not something we do here. And we're not going to do it. So I'm never going to be cheaper than the guy that's cutting corners. And if you're a homeowner and you don't know or you don't care about corners being cut, man, I'm not going to get your work. We only do the best quality work that we can do. We work really hard here to achieve excellence. That's something we take pride in. We try and be the very best. It's hard work, and we don't do it perfectly, but we work hard at it, and we want to work for people that appreciate that. And then the fourth reason, and this might make you chuckle a little bit, but most homeowners have more time than they have money. And I understand. I'm a homeowner, so I get it. If you knocked on my door and needed $8,000 for a boundary survey, I'd probably be hard for me to come up with that money. Most clients can wait. They can wait for one of those one-man shops to get to them. They've got time to call 15 different companies looking for, whoever's $200 cheaper. That's not a good client for us. Most of my clients have more money than they have time, so they put a high value on their time. And part of the reason they hire us is because we're the experts. We're going to take care of the headache. Most of the clients that I work for are like, I don't want to deal with it. Landon, you figure it out, get it done, and just tell me when it's finished, right? And the other thing too is a lot of my clients, because they're running businesses, time is money when you're in a business. And so if I've got somebody that can't expand the physical footprint of their business, or they've got some type of initiative or program that's on hold because of a real estate issue, they're willing to pay money to get that fixed and to get it fixed quickly. And so they're a good fit for us. So there are a few rare occasions when I will work for a homeowner. So I'm going to give you 3. Okay. If there's already a high level of trust between us and the client. And it's usually when we're working for friends or family, or somebody that's recommended by friends or family. And we have some people that come to us and they just say, you know what, I know I could find a guy to do it cheaper, but I know if I hire you, you're gonna treat me right. You're not gonna cheat me on my bill, and you're gonna tell me what I need to hear. And so I don't want to go to anybody else. I would like you to get it done. I just had a client. I told a client, he was a friend of mine. He called a month or 2 ago, and he needed some help. He had a construction project he was working on, and he needed some surveying. And I told him, I said, hey bud, I said I'd love to help you. I just want to let you know, I can refer you to a couple other guys that can probably do this for half the price. I said, if you're willing to wait. He said, you know what, that's not what I'm worried about. I need this done right. I need it done now, and I trust you, and you're the guy. Let's get this done. So in those situations where we have a high level of trust with the client, sometimes we will take on a homeowner. The other situation is if we've got a homeowner they're in a situation where there's lots of problems. So most often this happens with high value properties. So we get a lot of this in the Bay Area. You've got luxury homes, and usually people are fighting with their neighbors, and there's issues, In some of those situations that we will work for a homeowner. Usually in that situation, I'm being brought in by a land attorney. So it's somebody that has hired a land attorney, which means things are getting serious, and the land attorney says, hey, in order for me to help you, you've got to get a good boundary survey. And so I'm being brought in with the land attorney. And then the final situation is when there's some kind of land use planning element to the services that a client needs. So when this most frequently happens is I've got a homeowner that's bought a vacant lot, and they want to put on a custom home, and so they've hired an architect or a civil engineer, and we're going to work with the architect or the designer, the architect or the civil engineer, to get them through the land planning process, and part of that usually requires a survey. In those situations, we work for a homeowner. Again, a little bit different because I'm dealing with another professional there, a design professional. They typically appreciate what a quality survey looks like. So those are 3 kind of unique situations in which we might work for a homeowner. But as a general rule, if you call here looking for a fence survey, we're probably not a good fit, and I'm going to recommend you to one of the one-man shops that I know in your area that's probably going to be a better fit for what you need.